Hello, my name is Victor Fordham, and today I want to tell you about a man named John S. Pemberton. In 1886, Dr. Pemberton was an Atlanta pharmacist that developed what would become known as the #1 drink in the world. You know it as Coca-Cola. Now, me being from Georgia, Coca-Cola is so dominant that when somebody says they're going to get a soft drink, they automatically say, I'm getting a Coke. It doesn't matter if it's Sprite or Pib or even from that other company, we say Coke. Dr. Pemberton was born near Macon, Georgia in 1831 and died in 1888, just a couple years after developing the original recipe for Coca-Cola. He grew up around Rome, Georgia, and attended college at Reform Medical College in Macon, Georgia, to become a pharmacist. After marrying his wife, Anne, Pemberton moved to Columbus, Georgia in 1853. Now, Pemberton wasn't just a pharmacist, he dabbled in other areas of medicine, and he sold many medical supplies in Columbus, many that he developed himself in his stores and also at medical conventions and shows and things like that. So he was an entrepreneur from the very beginning. When the Civil War broke out, Pemberton joined the Confederate Army in May of 1862 and was promoted to a first lieutenant. He commanded a cavalry battalion in defense of Columbus shortly thereafter and became a lieutenant colonel. When the war ended, Pemberton teamed up with a physician by the name of Austin Walker there in Columbus. The two set up a laboratory to develop new products, medicines, and even photography supplies. So very much an entrepreneurial spirit. Though it would take some time for the business to build back up in the midst of Reconstruction, the two saw some very early success. He then moved to Atlanta in 1870 and set up more labs there. In 1885, he marketed something he called Pemberton's French Wine Coca, and it was made with the leaves from South America from a plant that becomes really the predecessor of cocaine. Among many things, it was supposed to cure headaches, and I just bet it did, don't you? It was this drink that eventually evolved in what we now know as Coca-Cola. And he revised the recipe over and over again, especially when the Prohibition movement began to hit Atlanta. And he eventually added extract from the cola nut from Africa. That's Kola. He eventually perfected this recipe in 1886 and began selling the syrup, which would be then mixed with carbonated water at the counter at Atlanta's Jacob Pharmacy in 1886. In its first year, Dr. Pemberton thought it was a flop. He only served a whopping 9 drinks per day. Now, the Coca-Cola Company estimates that they serve 1.9 billion drinks every single day. Many other competitors began appearing, and I found that early advertisements for Coke included phrases like, demand the genuine, refuse the substitutes. What's great about Coca-Cola and the way that Dr. Pemberton changed things with the economy is that he went from a simple headache remedy to a recreational beverage conglomerate that has a worldwide reach that he could have never even imagined at the time that he invented it. Now, between its signature drinks like regular Coke, Diet Coke, and Sprite, they also have water and all kinds of other sports drinks as well. Along with that, they have thousands of independent bottlers all over the world that are a part of the company. And they all contract out with Coke in order to produce different flavors of Coke all over the world. Coke that's in America doesn't necessarily taste like Coke that's in Asia, for example. But Coke provides jobs and an export for the United States that is really worldwide. The red and white ribbon, as far as marketing goes, that logo is one of the most recognized symbols in the world and has remained very much the same as it was when Pemberton started marketing Coke early on. So if there was ever an example of an entrepreneur and a product that represents a move towards a more globalized economy in a post-bellum world, something that represents mass production, consumerism, mass marketing, and the entrepreneurial spirit, it's Dr. Pemberton and Coca-Cola. There were many sources that I'm able to cite at this time. A Coca-Cola ad that I saw in The Sun from 1913, a primary source document. Coca-Cola Company online, they have a robust history exhibit online for people to see. Uh, Constance Hayes wrote a book called The Real Thing, Truth and Power at the Coca-Cola Company in 2004. And the New Georgia Encyclopedia has a great resource on John S. Pemberton himself. So I hope that you were able to get something out of this on Dr. Pemberton and his great invention, the Coca-Cola drink, and what will become known as the Coca-Cola Company. Cheers.